Once upon a time, there lived a man named Charles who carried a secret as heavy as the night. He was married to a kind woman named Eliza, with whom he had 3 wonderful children. However, Charles led a double life that was unknown to many, especially to a woman named Sophia, who he called his side chick. Sophia lived in a beautiful house, a gift from Charles, who showered her with money and affection. She believed she was the only one in Charles's heart, unaware of the family he neglected. On the other side of town, Eliza and her children lived in a world far removed from Charles's lavish gifts. Eliza, once full of dreams and laughter, now found herself drowning in despair. Charles refused to provide for his family, leaving them in want while he lavished his riches on Sophia. The whispers of the town eventually reached Eliza's ears, tales of Charles's escapades and the luxurious life he had built for another woman. Driven by a mix of heartbreak and hope, Eliza decided to confront the reality that haunted her. She approached Sophia's door, her heart pounding with every knock. Sophia, taken aback by the visit of a stranger, initially greeted Eliza with suspicion and annoyance. However, as Eliza unraveled the truth of their shared connection to Charles, Sophia's heart sank. She was aghast, having never known of Charles's other life. Apologizing profusely, Sophia agreed to a plan that would change their lives forever. Sophia, now aware of the pain Charles had caused, decided to help Eliza and her children. She concocted a clever scheme to divert funds from Charles to support his neglected family. Using her wit and charm, she convinced Charles to invest in various projects which were actually lifelines for Eliza and her children. As days turned into weeks, Charles, blinded by his affection for Sophia, never suspected a thing. Meanwhile, Eliza was able to feed her children and even start a small business, thanks to Sophia's assistance. The children, once familiar with hunger and despair, now knew laughter and full bellies. Eliza and Sophia, who had been brought together by a shared secret, now found themselves bound by a deep friendship. They had come up with a plan that not only helped Eliza's family get by, but also showed how tough times can bring out the best in people. Charles, on the other hand, didn't see the quiet storm brewing right under his nose. He kept living his life as usual, not knowing that Eliza and Sophia were slowly undoing the web of lies he had spun. The turning point came unexpectedly. Charles, in a rare moment of reflection, decided to surprise Sophia with a visit, wanting to share plans for yet another extravagant gift. As he approached the house he had bought for her, he noticed something that stopped him in his tracks. There, playing in the garden, were Eliza's children, their laughter filling the air, a sound so foreign to the cold, silent halls of his own home. Confusion turned to shock as he saw Eliza and Sophia sitting together, their heads bent in close conversation. The sight of them together, united in laughter and companionship, was a picture he couldn't comprehend. His world, built on lies and secrecy, began to crumble. Confronted with the truth, Charles's initial reaction was one of anger and denial. However, as the reality of his actions and their consequences sank in, a different emotion took hold: remorse. The realization that he had been the architect of his own misfortune, that his selfishness had hurt the people he claimed to love, was a bitter pill to swallow. In the days that followed, Charles sought to make amends. He knew the road to forgiveness was long, and perhaps for some wounds there was no healing. But he started where he could, providing for his family, not out of obligation, but out of a genuine desire to do better. He tried to rebuild the bridges he had burned, though he knew some relationships were forever altered. Eliza, strong and compassionate, chose to focus on the future rather than dwell on the past. She used the funds Sophia had helped her secure to grow her business and provide for her children, ensuring they would never again feel the sting of neglect. Sophia, for her part, stepped away from the relationship with Charles, her eyes now open to the truth. She focused on her own path, one that did not include being a hidden part of someone else's life. This story doesn't end with a big showdown, but with quiet changes and new starts. It reminds us that even after deceit and betrayal, people can build something stronger and better based on respect, understanding, and forgiveness. As for Charles, he's just starting on his path to making things right. Whether he can truly make up for what he's done is a question only time can answer. But in the end, this story is really about the strength and unity between two women who, against all odds, turned a difficult situation into one of power and friendship. As our story wraps up, Eliza is left with a big decision. Can she let Charles back into her life after everything that's happened? Or have they grown too far apart? The story leaves us here, wondering what choice Eliza will make and letting us think about what we might do in her shoes. The end. Thanks for tuning in. If you liked what you heard, feel free to explore more stories on our channel, page, or website. Your support is greatly appreciated.